and welcome to Movie Corner, where I sit in the corner and talk to you about the latest movies available in theaters. This is what I've seen lately. First up was The Watchers. I found it extra interesting as an M. Night Shyamalan film. It had a twist at the end, they always do. It was also based on some Irish mythology. There was some creative writing there, so it wasn't exactly the same, but as a lover of mythology, it was tops for me. Bad Boys Ride or Die. This is the latest in the franchise of the Will Smith movie series. It was action-packed, fun, and funny at points. In a violent nature. This was one of those movies I saw just because I had a ticket to go. I did not particularly enjoy it. It didn't seem like it had a plot, and it was just an excuse to show senseless violence. It was a Canadian film, so I thought it might be interesting because it wasn't necessarily a typical Hollywood film, but it definitely was a letdown for me. I know there are people who enjoy what's called blood porn, so you might want to go if you are that type of person. Not a kid's film. Firebrand. This one was about Henry VIII and his last wife and what she went through. It was loosely based on reality. They said right at the beginning of the film that a lot of it was speculation because they don't really know what happened. However, it was a dramatization that was quite interesting if you're a history buff. Another one of my interests aside from mythology is history, so personally I found it interesting. If you don't like history, you might find it kind of dry and uninteresting. It is a woman's power movie. It definitely talks about Protestantism, reforms, new thought, creative independence, all those great things, things that Henry VIII tried to squash. And it's interesting. Don't go for an educational experience because, again, they admit that a lot of it is speculation. But if you like period pieces, I recommend it. Well acted, well done, a lot of good themes, a fun time. Treasure. Now, this was about generational trauma. That's right, a lot of Jews go through generational trauma as their relatives have survived the Holocaust or not survived, as the case may be. Treasure is about a young woman who goes to Poland for vacation. She wants to tour all the places her dad used to live and the experiences he went through during the Holocaust. Her dad is quite upset at times and finds it hard to talk about these issues, but it's an interesting father-daughter film. It's quite heavy. If you're looking for what they call a popcorn movie, this is not it. I believe this one was also based on a true story. All of them add things for theatrical purposes, but there is definitely an educational component to this film. And as a lot of people are lacking knowledge about the Holocaust these days, it might be a good idea for some of you to go see. Inside Out 2. This is the second in an animated series by Pixar where the emotions themselves have emotions and they're like little people. They are anthropomorphized, as they say. And the first one was this little kid dealing with emotions, and you see what's going on inside the little kid's head. And it's a very unique experience. This second one brings that same theme and it builds on it because the girl is a bit older. She develops some more emotions. She goes through some new experiences, and it's really a milestone type of film you might want to share with the whole family. Some of you might not like it. Some of you might want something a little bit more serious, although there are some honest life lessons you might be able to learn from the film. Some of you might find it cheesy though. The Exorcism. Now, horror is something I like, but I don't like. So the slasher film in a violent nature, I definitely did not like because it was not my kind of film. It was basically pointless violence and an excuse to get bloody on screen. Exorcism is a different kind of film, and it's more my style because, again, with the mythology interest that I have, I like the occult. I like stories about the occult. I have problems that a lot of these stories are based on Christian mythology. As a Jewish person, I get more excited when I see Jewish-themed horror movies that are based on Jewish mythology. However, I still find these stories interesting, and the thing about The Exorcism is that they're talking about what it's like to make a horror film. So you get an idea about the actors and their story, and apparently a lot of horror films have involved some freaky, unexplained things going on. They ramp up the story and make it totally unrealistic because it is Hollywood, but they got the idea from actual events. A lot of the films out nowadays, I guess, have some sort of true inspiration for them, and I believe that adds an extra layer of interest for some people. Some people prefer more of an escapism. When they go to the theater, it's all up to you. Now, I try and prevent myself from reading things like, I like this is bad, because you can make up your own mind. What I'm talking about is just some explanations about the stories and how I felt and what kind of audience might enjoy these films. That's what I'm really going for. So if you're looking for a yay or nay, this is bad, this is good kind of review, that's not what I'm doing here. The Bike Riders, though, I will actually say was superb. It was based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson. He had gone around and interviewed members of a bike riding club and made a book out of it because he had studied photography, which is something I didn't know about Hunter S. Thompson before. I knew he was the phenomenal author who had written Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which most of us know, and it is a classic. Hunter S. Thompson has done many more things than that. And I also read a great biography called Gonzo about Hunter S. Thompson. I would recommend it for those who like to read. The Bikers, it's just, it doesn't follow necessarily your typical story arc. It's more of a picture of this is what life was actually like. So there isn't necessarily a clear climax and a denouement per se. There is some twists and turns. It's about rebels. If you like to hear stories about rebels, that's your movie. Ghostlight. Now, this was another heavy movie. Ghostlight was a father who joins a community theater group, and they don't show you too much in the trailer, which I appreciate in a way because I don't want to know everything beforehand when I go see a movie. Part of the fun is hearing the story for the first time. I'm not one to watch the same movie over and over again. This involves themes of suicide and family members having to deal with a child who committed suicide. A father was trying to figure out what it was like for his son. Well, he at first was just trying to deny what happened in ways and trying to place blame and point the finger. And the grieving process was facilitated by his participating in this play, Romeo and Juliet. Obviously, he got a chance to switch roles and maybe empathize more with his son and process things. I'm not sure I would really recommend this for too many people. Again, none of these films that I saw these past few weeks were terrible. They had decent acting, they had good actors cast, they had interesting stories. It was a wide variety of themes and plots. Basically, maybe you might want to go see it if you're into something more heavy. Personally, having known some people who have gone through certain situations, I don't really want to use Ghostlight as a form of entertainment.